Welcome to the Mental Minute, an AI-generated podcast. Today, we're doing a deep dive into an economic theory that might just flip your understanding of efficiency.
It's this intriguing idea that sometimes making things more efficient, it doesn't actually lead to less consumption.
Yeah.
In fact, it can actually increase it.
Okay, let's unpack that a little bit. This is the Jevons paradox, right?
Exactly.
I've heard the name, but
Yeah.
never really understood what it means.
William Stanley Jevons, he was an English economist.
Okay.
And he noticed this back in the 19th century. He observed that after James Watt introduced his more efficient steam engine, the consumption of coal in England actually went up.
Really?
Yeah, it seems counterintuitive, but even though each engine used less coal,
Yeah.
the overall demand for coal skyrocketed.
I hadn't considered that. So
Well-
why did that happen? You'd think more efficient engines would mean we need less coal overall.
Well, the steam engine becoming more efficient made it cheaper to operate, which then led to its wider adoption across industries. So, since the barrier to entry was lower, more people started using it, which in turn drove up the overall demand for coal.
So it's like a backfire effect almost.
Mhm.
Efficiency makes something cheaper, more people use it,
Yeah.
and ultimately we end up consuming more of the resource.
Yeah, that's the gist of it.
Okay.
Economists call this the rebound effect.
Rebound effect, okay.
And it's not just limited to 19th century coal. Think about fuel-efficient cars today.
Yeah.
We assume they'd lead to less gas consumption,
Right.
but people often end up driving more because they feel it's cheaper.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
If I know I'm getting more miles per gallon, I might be more likely to take that road trip. But hold on. Wouldn't this rebound effect depend on how sensitive people are to price changes?
You're absolutely right. That sensitivity is called price elasticity of demand.
Right.
For instance, imagine luxury coffee. If the price drops suddenly, you might treat yourself more often, showing high elasticity. But for everyday essentials like rice, even a price drop won't make you eat twice as much. The demand is less elastic.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this all connects. So the Jevons paradox isn't just a historical anecdote. It has implications for how we think about resource use and sustainability even today.
Absolutely. And it goes beyond just energy. Let's take modern agriculture as an example. Advancements in technology have boosted crop yields significantly.
Okay.
You'd think this means we need less land for agriculture,
Yeah.
but that's not always the case.
This is where that unintended consequence kicks in again, right?
Yeah.
How does that work with agriculture?
Exactly. Higher crop yields can make farming more profitable.
Okay.
This incentivizes using even more land for agriculture, potentially leading to deforestation and habitat loss.
Wow.
So we get more food per acre, but the overall environmental impact might be negative.
This is really making me rethink my assumptions about efficiency. I always thought doing more with less was a good thing, but it seems like it's not that simple.
It's not, and this paradox doesn't just apply to energy and food. We see it happening with cutting-edge technologies like artificial intelligence. AI is becoming more efficient and accessible, leading to its rapid adoption across different sectors.
So are we saying that by making AI more efficient, we're actually contributing to its greater use, even if that means consuming more computational resources?
Yes, even tech leaders like Satya Nadella,
Oh,
Microsoft's CEO, have acknowledged that the Jevons paradox is playing out with AI. The increased efficiency is actually fueling greater demand and usage.
wow.
A trend also highlighted by Dario Amodei,
Okay.
the co-founder of Anthropic.
It's fascinating how this 19th century observation about coal is relevant to something as futuristic as AI.
Mhm.
It sounds like this efficiency paradox touches on more than just resources.
Hmm.
Does it have broader societal or ethical implications as well?
Absolutely. The Jevons paradox in the context of AI isn't just about increased energy consumption. It's about the potential for AI to reshape entire industries. We could see a shift away from jobs that involve repetitive tasks,
As those become automated.
So this efficiency paradox could actually impact the types of jobs and skills that are in demand in the future. That's a huge implication.
Exactly. This shift could require workers to adapt and acquire new skills.
Okay.
Some see this as a challenge, but others view it as an opportunity.
Yeah.
Imagine AI taking over mundane tasks, freeing up humans to focus on more creative and strategic work.
Yeah, that's a fascinating thought. But wouldn't this also raise some ethical questions? What happens to the people whose jobs are replaced by AI?
You're hitting on a crucial point.
Yeah.
As a society, we need to address these concerns.
Mm.
We need to think about policies like retraining programs or social safety nets that could support workers through this transition. We also need to ensure AI development prioritizes human well-being and fairness.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
This is really making me see the bigger picture. It's not just about efficiency and productivity. It's about the potential social and ethical consequences as well. Precisely. The Jevons paradox applied to AI compels us to consider what it means to be human in an age of increasingly intelligent machines.
Yeah.
It's a call for a holistic approach to technological progress, one that considers the broader societal and ethical implications.
I used to think of AI as just a tool to make life easier. Now I see it as something much more transformative, something with the potential to reshape our world in profound ways.
That's a key insight. AI is not just another technology. It's a force that could fundamentally alter the course of human history. And understanding the Jevons paradox can help us navigate this new territory responsibly.
So given that AI is on this trajectory of increasing efficiency and demand, what can we do to ensure a positive future for humanity?
There's no simple answer, but there are some key areas to focus on. We need to prioritize education and training that equips people with the skills to thrive in an AI-powered world. This includes not just technical skills, but also critical thinking, creativity, and adaptability.
So it's about teaching people how to think critically and creatively, skills that AI might not be able to replicate easily.
Exactly. We need a workforce that can complement and collaborate with AI rather than simply being replaced by it. We also need to invest in research that focuses on the ethical and societal implications of AI, ensuring fairness, transparency, and accountability in AI systems.
So it seems like we need to ensure AI aligns with our values and benefits society as a whole. It's not something we should leave solely in the hands of technologists.
Absolutely. We need a broader societal conversation about the role we want AI to play in our lives. What kind of future do we want to create with this technology? What are the potential risks and benefits? These are questions we need to address collectively as a society.
Yeah. This has been a real eye-opener. The Jevons paradox applied to AI becomes more than just an economic theory. It touches on a whole web of social, ethical, and philosophical issues. It feels like a lot to grapple with.
It certainly does. But it's a crucial conversation to have. Now, stepping back from AI for a moment,
Yeah.
I'm curious to explore other areas where this paradox might be at play. We've focused a lot on energy and AI,
Right.
but its principles can be observed in many other domains.
That's a good point. What other examples come to mind?
Consider traffic congestion. You might think building more roads would reduce it,
Right.
but it often leads to more people driving, negating the intended improvement.
Wow.
It's a classic example of the Jevons paradox in action.
So even in something as seemingly straightforward as transportation infrastructure, this paradox can pop up.
Exactly. It shows that solutions focused solely on increasing efficiency or capacity can backfire if they don't consider the complex interplay of incentives, behaviors, and demand.
So are we saying we should abandon efforts to improve efficiency altogether? It seems like a core principle of progress.
Not at all. Efficiency is still a vital goal, but we need to approach it with a nuanced understanding of its potential consequences. The Jevons paradox reminds us that simply making something more efficient doesn't automatically guarantee a positive outcome.
So we need to be mindful of the context, the incentives at play, and the potential unintended consequences when aiming for greater efficiency.
Precisely. Efficiency is a means to an end, not an end in itself. The goal should be to utilize it to achieve broader societal goals like sustainability, well-being, or fairness. We need to be conscious of the bigger picture.
Yeah, this is a really crucial point. We can't just blindly pursue efficiency without considering the potential downsides.
You've got it. The Jevons paradox helps us think critically about our assumptions about progress and recognize the complex interplay between technology, economics, and human behavior.
This conversation has been truly eye-opening. The Jevons paradox is so much more than just an economic theory. It's a powerful framework for understanding some of the biggest challenges and opportunities we face in the 21st century.
I couldn't agree more. It's a concept that deserves more attention, not just from economists, but from policymakers, technologists, and anyone invested in creating a more sustainable and equitable future.
We've covered a lot today, from the historical roots of this paradox to its implications for energy, AI, and even traffic. But before we wrap up, are there any broader lessons we can draw from this discussion? What are some key takeaways for our listeners?
That's a great question. I think one of the most important takeaways is the importance of systems thinking. The Jevons paradox highlights how interconnected complex systems are.
Yeah.
Whether it's an economy, an ecosystem, or a transportation network, it reminds us that even seemingly isolated actions can have ripple effects throughout the system.
So it's not enough to just focus on optimizing individual components.
Yeah.
We need to consider the system as a whole.
Exactly. And this applies to many areas of life. Think about improving your health. You can't just focus on diet or exercise in isolation. You need to consider your overall lifestyle, sleep patterns, stress levels, and how they all interact.
That's a great analogy. It emphasizes understanding the feedback loops in a system. Making a change in one area can trigger a cascade of effects elsewhere.
Precisely. The Jevons paradox is a prime example of this. Increasing efficiency in one area can create feedback loops that lead to increased consumption or other unintended consequences. It's about recognizing that complex systems require a holistic approach.
So systems thinking is crucial for anticipating and mitigating those unintended consequences. Are there any other key takeaways you'd highlight?
Another crucial lesson is the importance of humility. The Jevons paradox reminds us that our understanding of these complex systems is often incomplete.
Yeah.
We need to be humble about our ability to predict the consequences of our actions and be willing to adapt our approaches based on new information.
That's a valuable point.
Yeah.
It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking we have all the answers,
Yeah.
especially with technology advancing so rapidly. But the Jevons paradox shows us that even our best intentions can have unforeseen consequences.
Exactly. It highlights the need for continuous learning, experimentation, and adaptation. We need to acknowledge our mistakes, adjust our course, and constantly seek ways to improve our understanding of these complex systems.
So it's not about having all the answers up front. It's about embracing a process of ongoing learning and adaptation.
Absolutely. And I think that's a valuable mindset to have, not just in economics or technology, but in all aspects of life.
This has been a truly enlightening discussion. The Jevons paradox is deceptively simple, yet has such far-reaching implications. It's challenged my assumptions about efficiency, progress, and the role of technology in our lives.
I'm glad to hear that. It's a topic I'm always excited to discuss because it raises fundamental questions about how we understand and interact with the world around us.
I feel like we could talk about this for hours, but unfortunately we're just about out of time.
Me too. Perhaps we can revisit this topic in a future conversation.
Yeah?
There's always more to explore regarding the Jevons paradox and its implications for the world we're creating.
I'd love that. But for now, we'll have to say goodbye to our listeners.
Indeed. And thank you to everyone for joining us on this deep dive into the Jevons paradox.
We hope this conversation has sparked some new ideas and inspired you to think more critically about the complex interplay between efficiency, consumption, and progress.
Remember, the Jevons paradox is more than just an economic theory. It's a powerful lens through which to view the world around us, prompting us to question our assumptions and strive for a more sustainable and equitable future.
Well said. Until next time, keep those mental gears turning. You know, it's amazing how this seemingly simple concept has these profound implications. We've seen how the Jevons paradox plays out in energy, AI, agriculture, even traffic.
It's everywhere.
It's almost like this hidden force shaping our world, pushing us to consume more, even when we're trying to be efficient.
Right.
It's a powerful reminder that we need to be aware of these complex dynamics, not just as economists or policymakers, but like in our everyday lives. So what does this mean for us practically? Should we just give up on efficiency altogether? It seems like a core principle of progress.
Not at all.
Yeah.
The Jevons paradox is not about dismissing efficiency, but understanding its complexities. It reminds us that technology alone can't solve our problems.
So we can't just rely on innovation to create a sustainable future.
Exactly. We need a combination of smart policies, a shift in our mindset, and a willingness to consider the wider consequences of our actions.
So it's about being more mindful and intentional about how we pursue progress, not just chasing efficiency for efficiency's sake.
Precisely. The Jevons paradox calls for a more nuanced and holistic approach to progress, one that considers not just efficiency and economic growth, but also the well-being of people and the planet.
This has been a truly insightful deep dive. It's given me a lot to think about. Thank you for sharing your expertise with us today.
It's been my pleasure. It's always fascinating to explore.
And to all our listeners, thanks for joining us on The Mental Minute. We hope this episode has helped you understand the complexities of efficiency and the implications of the Jevons paradox. It's a concept that might just change how you view the world. Remember, progress isn't just about doing more with less. It's about making sure that more benefits everyone and the planet in the long run.